Hi, and welcome to Turra Company, the mother-daughter podcast about everything. Our mission is to make herstory, aka history, not by going viral, but by doing something that has never been done before in our family. Whether we have 2 listeners or 2 million listeners, we are bringing you our very best, and hopefully we are learning and growing together in the process. Now let's enter into the Turra Company experience and create herstory, aka history together. Welcome to Turra Company. Every time, y'all just gonna laugh every time.
Every single time.
That's the new opening. It's me saying what I say and then y'all giggling. It's okay. I'm okay. All right. Well, welcome, company. Hey. How y'all doing?
Hey, what's going on? What's up, peeps?
How y'all doing? We missed y'all.
Y'all literally, they just heard us last week. It's fine.
I know, but we missed them still from week to week. That's a long time. That's 7 days.
I mean,
7 days. So anyway, welcome to Turra Company. Let's get started with today's show. I'm excited. I'm always excited. Every show makes me excited because I know we are out here changing lives. If nobody else but our own lives.
Right.
And y'all just get to listen to the progress. That's what I say. So today's show is, are you a boss? Or are you just controlling?
Say that one more time for the people.
Are you a boss? Meaning, are you a leader? Or are you just controlling?
Just wanting to be
Just
a bossy.
want
Or
a
not
fake,
bossy, but
I think it's a fake boss.
yeah, a fake boss.
Just bossy. Now, let me tell y'all one good thing. Let me tell y'all one thing. I'm gonna have stories in this one. It's gonna be story time a little bit in this one. So when I was a kid, super bossy, which is super controlling, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was super controlling. But I always think back to those times in my life. I believe I was a natural born leader. I just had to be groomed.
Guided.
Yeah,
Let's go with
please don't say groom.
Please don't say groom. Please don't say groom.
That's
Guided.
not good to say.
No.
Groomed is
We'll talk
not
later
a good,
about what grooming
That's
means.
not a good word.
Okay, so
But
I just had to be. What did you say?
guided.
Okay, sorry. I had to be guided, and I had to learn the difference between just being bossy and just being a leader. Because, so fun fact, when I was a kid, my cousins used to come over. Remember, everybody knows I was the only kid till I was 13 years old. I think I mentioned it on the show before. I was 13 when my brothers came.
You've mentioned it a few times.
Well, people might just be coming in on this episode. They might have missed those. So, and if you've missed them, go back and listen. So anyway, when I was a kid, my cousins used to come over and I was so bossy. I used to be like, don't play with my stuff like that. If you play with my doll like that, you're not handling it right, I'm going to put it away.
What are you, the parent?
I don't know what I was. I just was this bossy little only child. And nobody like wheeled me and like, I was just wild. And my mother used to be like if my mother would hear it, she would be like, Turra, you're so bossy. Nobody's going to want to play with you. I was like, I beg to differ with you. Because I got the greatest toys in the land. Because I was the only child. And everybody else had siblings. So they had, they didn't have as much resources as my mama had to give to one kid. So I beg to differ with her because I had the good toys. And when you have the good toys, people want to play. They're going to do what they need to do to play the games. So I was bossy. So I'm trying to think how I got that bossiness into a leader thing. I think because I was getting, and when I say I was getting negative feedback, I'm not saying I was getting like people were telling me stuff, but I'm very consciously aware of my surroundings. I think we've talked about that in emotional intelligence. I can read the room. And I just felt like people don't want to be boss. Sometimes they want to be led. And you have to pick up on that. Like a good example I think I have is your dad. And I hate talking about him like that because people think, well, he should be leading. In this house, a little bit, I'm the lead. And he lets me take the lead. And he has no problem with it because he trusts the lead. Right? You got to trust the lead. So for me, I moved my bossiness, which was control, into leadership. So I feel like I lead the house, and y'all, I'm sure y'all gonna correct me if I'm wrong. I lead the house. I try not to be controlling. What y'all think?
Yeah. No.
Was
Not at all.
the cough?
What's that?
No, that
I
was.
feel like that was super sarcastic.
It was.
Okay.
It was.
You think I'm controlling?
A little bit, but not like in an unhealthy way.
You know what it is?
What is it?
I think you're very particular, and you've always been very particular. And if things don't go exactly how you envision them in your head to the second, that is when you get controlling. But otherwise, you kind of just let us go. You're kind of just like, I want to do this, and this, and then just let us go. But if you have like a set, like this needs to go, like 50-step plan with like flow charts, then you get kind of controlling.
Yeah.
Because it needs to go that way.
Yeah. It has to go. Like when we were, so for instance, maybe when we were planning the podcast.
Oh, the perfect example. That is a perfect example.
But look at the result.
I mean, yeah, well, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, yeah.
I was about to play the claps. Y'all almost got the
Okay,
claps.
now.
All right. Well,
Y'all, I almost gave myself the claps because
you're wording.
There you go.
Happy now?
I am. Because this is a good podcast. I don't care what anybody says. Like,
I mean, it's good for us.
no.
For
See,
sure
that
for other
negativity is out.
How is that? Whatever. Okay.
Not good
All right.
for us. It's good. This is a good podcast. I'm telling you. I listen to others, and sometimes I'll be critiquing because I'm so.
You're so judgmental.
Yes.
You're very judgmental.
Can we do are you judgmental
I think we
part
already
2?
did it.
We did.
Oh,
I'm
part
talking
two.
about a part 2. We may need to do a part 2.
I think that ship has sailed. I'm good.
Got it.
But no, so the reason I think this episode even came up is because lately, I ain't gonna say lately, but I just been noticing controlling behaviors,
Oh,
right?
me too. Yeah.
You've been noticing it too?
Yeah.
And so I find, because when I run into a situation or a behavior coming at me, I always try to see what role am I playing in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys do that?
Mm-hmm.
So I try to see, am I doing something that's making somebody think that I need to be controlled?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that person just
Controlling.
yes? And so what I find with me is when you are trying to control me and not lead me or boss me and not work with me
Mhm.
on the end result, it goes TNT. Like on the cartoons, TNT. Because I feel like I already have control. I don't need nobody to control me. So when you try to control me, it doesn't work. So word to the wise, if you deal with me, don't try to control me. Lead me, teach me, do not try to control me.
Right. I think one of the things that, and I feel like I've talked about this a lot and mentioned this a lot, is I think that there is a very strong correlation between controllingness and insecurity. I think that there's I think those two are very heavily connected because I think a lot of people that are insecure in certain aspects of their life, they're searching for something that they can hold on to, that they can feel like, that feels like they ground them into being in control of some aspect of their life. But in all actuality, if you're not like, if you're a pretty secure person in yourself, you don't have to be a control freak. You understand that you can.
It's almost like they're trying to like overcompensate.
That is 100% what it is. That's exactly it. They're trying to overcompensate because they're like, this area is failing
Or out of control.
So I'm gonna use the energy that I have to try to control this other area. And what's funny is I feel like a lot of people misconstrue that as like controlling your controllables, but that's not what that is.
Why do people always mess up a good thing? Because controlling your controllables is a wonderful thing.
Right. It is a wonderful saying about like, okay, I can control this part, like my reaction to a situation, or I control my part of a situation. But that doesn't extend to people. That only control your controllables is internal, not external. And I think a lot of people get that bit confused. I think that that's the missing piece for people sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was saying something before the controllables, but if it's important, it'll come back to me.
Yeah.
I also think it's like a power trip.
Yes.
For some people too.
Oh my goodness, yes.
To lord over you.
Yes, because like someone who has leadership qualities, like that's just going to come natural, and they're not getting anything out of it for them.
Yeah.
They're just doing it because that's just who they were born to do, and that's just how their personality is.
Yes.
But people who try to control you don't have those abilities naturally.
Yes.
So it's like what we said, they're overcompensating, but it's also like, yes, I have all this power. Or maybe necessarily it doesn't start out to where like they started out to where they wanted to control you, but because of they saw how much power they had, now that's what it's become.
Yeah. I totally agree. And to your point, Chelsi, when it's in that particular vein, it's forced.
Yeah.
100%.
And it causes so much tension.
Yes.
Because it's not natural. Because like you said, the person who is a natural born leader, because leader is a motivator.
Mm-hmm.
Leader is a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You are partnering with the person or persons to get a result, and we're all gonna win. So I'm not just telling you this or that or this to make you feel a certain type of way or to make you feel under me. I'm actually, as a leader, to me, I'm trying to bring you up. So I see something that I can help you with. So I'm gonna lead you and guide you into a place where it can bring you up and give you a certain skill set that you might not have, that I have, and I can teach you that. But I'm never gonna lord it over you. We're gonna work at it together.
Another thing to that point about like helping as a leader, is good leaders are servants.
Yes,
Good
that is
leaders.
so true. Oh my gosh, Ariel, you're so smart.
Oh, thank you.
Sometimes I be like, where did she come from?
Good leaders are servants.
That is so true. And they act as that.
Yeah, they don't do it for their own personal gain. They do it to better the people around them. A good appropriate leader, somebody who actually wants to lead, views themselves in a way that they're not like, what do I need to get done? They're more like, how can I help you?
Right. Yes. That is so true. Okay, so let's recap that, because I want company to really. This is about to help some folks because, like I said, I've been running into this little spirit. I'm gonna call it a spirit.
Yeah.
I've been running into this little spirit a lot lately, and I don't like it, and it makes me feel a certain type of way. And I don't know if the people who are doing it know that that's what the response that they're governing
that they're getting.
I was trying to be fancy and I missed the boat.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're getting. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they think they're leading, but they're just on the wrong path. So if you are truly trying to be a leader and not control or lord over somebody, then you are having a mindset of servitude. You're saying, like Ariel said, how can I serve you? And that comes off so much better. It's so much, it breeds so much collaboration and participation. You wouldn't even believe it. And so if there's somebody out there listening to us that's struggling with control versus leader, if you thought you were controlling your controllables.
The controllables aren't people. The controllables are your actions and your emotions. The controllables aren't people. Oh my goodness.
Girl, because it's so many people out there trying to control the controllables with the AKA people.
People aren't puppets. Like, that's not how that works.
It's not, and we're not your kids. I'm grown. Sometimes I'm growner than the people trying to control me. Like, I'm growner than you. Why are you trying to tell me what to do?
And on the flip side, for me as a young person, both living my life, a lot of the times, I've noticed this a lot more in older people, not necessarily like all, but I've noticed a very weird little
quirk, maybe.
Yeah, a little quirk of some of the older people, not to specify like a generation because it's not generation specific. It's usually just like people who see themselves as older than me and believe that they're more experienced than me. Just because you're more experienced than somebody does not make you automatically qualified to lead them.
Or just because you are older than somebody.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just because I'm the age that I am, I can still learn from you. I'm a lifetime learner. I'm always open to learning. But it's how you teach me.
Right.
Check how you coming at me. Because if you coming at me all know-it-all-ish, we talked about this before. Nobody knows it all. I don't know it all. I have a lot of background in a lot of things, right? I'm a mother. I'm a wife of 28 years. So when I meet people who are married, one thing about me, even though I have all these years under my belt, you will not see me giving unsolicited advice. I very rarely do it. Like, if you ask me for some advice, I'll give it to you. And I give it to you very, like, what do you call it? Even keeled, very basic, because everybody's stuff is different. So I can't necessarily lead you, like I can't meet you, because my massage therapist, I go to the chiropractor and he just got married. My massage therapist at the chiropractor was asking me, what do I think leads to a long marriage, like happy marriage? And I was like, whatever works best for you, because he was wanting me to give him stuff that works for me. That is what works for me and Daddy. That's not necessarily what's going to work, because I don't know your relationship. So I can give you very general, very basic, and I can say certain things, but I give very general stuff. Very general stuff. And so if y'all out there controlling,
I think that's good, because I feel like so many people get caught up in, oh, well, that worked for them, so it must work for me.
So true. And I try not to do that, because I say it all the time. The way me and my husband work, we are very different. Like, you looking at us, people for the longest time in our marriage, people used to give us crap about how we did things. And we're still here. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to drop the mic at that. Mic drop. We're still here. I mean, however we did it, we're still here, because it worked for us. So nobody can tell you what works for you. And guess what? It takes you a while to figure out what works for you. A lot of people make this mistake. They get married, they see other people doing a thing, and they think that thing will work for them. You are not those two people, so it may not work for you. It may work a little bit, and you can grab some things. That's one thing. I never grabbed anything from anybody, because I think I mentioned this before. I never saw nobody married that had a good marriage to me. I just didn't see that let me say this. I'm not going to say I never saw any good marriages. I didn't see anything that I wanted to be. I only mimic stuff that I want to become, right? So I didn't see anybody married doing it the way I wanted it to be done, because I don't want you treating me like I'm less than because I'm your wife. I see that a lot. I'm sorry. I didn't want you controlling me because you were a man husband. I'm about to step on some toes. Y'all better get y'all steel toes out. I didn't want you controlling me because you were a man. I needed you to be able to let me speak. My voice needed to be heard, because we laughing. But it's some people out there that's married and their voice is not being heard.
Yeah.
Could never be me.
Exactly. And so what you have to do is, that's why it's very important that when you're dating now, you make sure those things are known. Because some people don't put those things out there. They don't put them on the table. And then they expect their mate to know. And then they get married. And then the mate says, okay, you're going to be doing this. You're going to be doing that. You're going to be doing. And then you're like, whoa, that's not what I signed up for.
Right.
And then very early on, you're in trouble because you didn't communicate what you wanted, how you wanted to be treated. So make sure you're communicating how you want to be treated.
I like that you connected our original bossy versus leader into relationships.
Yeah, because that's what this is about.
Because I think that's also, because I think a lot of people, when they hear leadership and when they hear like controlling, they think controlling in relationships, leadership in work life.
Yes.
And I don't think that those two need to be separated like that. Like, just like
they don't need to be categorized.
Yeah, not like that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially since when you started the conversation, you talked about how dad lets you lead, right?
Yes.
And because that works best for your relationship.
Yes.
So I think that's, and a lot of people don't really think of leadership in the sense of their friendships or their relationships. They mostly just think of it career-wise. And I think that that's a really limiting view of the word leadership.
Yes.
Because I 100% agree that leadership it can be in all facets. Like, for example, when it comes to me and Chelsi, right? Chelsi has things that she takes the lead on when it comes to us doing things. And I have certain things that I take the lead on when it comes to...
Oh, you do? I'm just joking. Ha ha. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? Okay. But yes, there are certain things where I know my strengths, and Chelsi has hers in our dynamic and in our relationship and all of those things. Like, if a good example is Chelsi and I are trying to get our lives together so that we can move out of the house, right? So when it comes to that aspect of it, okay. Yeah, love the cheering. Love the cheering. So when it comes to that aspect of our journey, so to speak, I'm the one that's kind of asking the questions of where do we want to live? What kind of house do we want to live in? Do we want to live in an apartment? What's our budget? Those are the kinds of things where I'm coming in and I'm just like, what's the plan for this? When it comes to vacations and trips, that's Chelsi's wheelhouse. When it comes to a lot of the actual like day-to-day life things, that's my strong suit. That's where I take the lead. So I think that a lot of people think that, oh, I'm a leader because I do this, that, and the other at work, blah, 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 blah. No, you're a leader because it's in all facets of your life, not just your work life, not just your relationships. It's in your friendships and it's with your just dynamics overall.
Yeah, because you know what? I don't know, this is kind of like off topic a little bit, but I just feel like not enough people really see friendships as a relationship.
Yes.
And I think that really stunts the growth of a lot of people because of the fact that they don't see it that way.
Yeah.
Which is
I agree.
Interesting.
Yeah, I agree, because it is a relationship, and it's a relationship that you have to work on.
Right.
You have to nurture it and grow it just like any other thing that's in your life. And a lot of times that's why friendships break up, because people take it for granted.
Right.
She's my friend. I know she gonna be my friend. I got this new friend over here. And you start showing them more attention than you showing your other friend. Mm-hmm. And that's fine, because the other friend may not need the attention, but you still have to work on keeping it fresh.
Yeah. Friendships can get stale.
Friendships can get stale because you just thinking we're going to do it just the way we always did it, or we're not going to do nothing. Mm-hmm. You're going to be here no matter whether I spend time with you or not. You're going to be here whether I call you or not. And I get that. But at the same time, as a friend, you want to be refreshed. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm hoping I'm refreshing my friends, and my expectation is for them to refresh me. Like, to say something, call me. Like, I was just talking about this with a friend the other day. We were talking about how you have a friend that just takes and takes and takes and never gives. Mm-hmm. That is so draining.
According to someone, that's how I was in middle school, but like, let's keep going.
But that's what I'm saying. It's
the
like
chicken strips.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just that will drain your battery so quickly, and you just feel unappreciated. You feel taken for granted, just like things you feel in a
romantic relationship.
Yes, thank you for those words.
You're welcome.
Because they were stuck in my brain. It's the same thing, and if you're out there, you're calling yourself being a friend to somebody. Make sure you're watering it. Make sure you're watering that flower of friendship, and not taking the person for granted. Because guess what? It needs to be worked on just like the rest.
And I feel the same with like family dynamics. Now, I think that our specific one is a little bit different because we all live in the same house together. And I think that, like, although I'm getting older and I'm becoming an adult, like, I'm going to move out eventually.
I think you are an adult. Hello, 27 is definitely an adult. So.
Oh, you're right. I am 27.
Someone asked me last night how old I was. You know what I said? 25.
You was jumping the good.
I was like, whoa.
Well, you'll be 25 in a minute.
In a month.
Yeah. So you just was giving yourself a birthday quickly.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that you need to nurture all of your relationships, your romantic ones, your friends, your family. You can't take the people in your life for granted because you're right. They're not all, they are, you think that they're always going to be there and they're kind of not. Because also at the same time, if a family member drains your battery, you kind of need to cut them off. Now, if Chelsi drained my battery, we wouldn't be having the same conversation. But Chelsi and I, we spend time together. We do things together, not very often, as considering we live in the same house. But we do the things that work for our sibling dynamic.
Yeah.
So
I get that. And you don't have to do everything together just because you're siblings.
Right. And you don't have to do everything together just because you're friends. And you don't have to do everything together just because you're in a relationship.
Because me and Neil, I mean, we're getting more do stuff together now.
This is the most I've ever.
JJ.
Yeah. This is the most I've ever seen y'all like do stuff together. I
yeah.
feel like.
We be like, we starting to get sewn together at the hip a little bit. We sewn together a little bit at our love handles. Instead of the hip, we sewn together a little bit at our love. That's what that was for. That's why God gave us love handles, so we could be sewn together at the love handle. That's where we at right now.
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna.
Yeah, we sewn together right there. So, So this episode is probably gonna be really quick because you know what? It is what it is, and you can't be. We're gonna recap this. Mm-hmm. You're either gonna be a leader, which is servitude, or you're gonna be controlling. And I want to talk a little bit more about controlling in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like people are out here being controlled in relationships and they don't know that they're being controlled in a relationship because it's very micro.
Because they're also taking that control as leadership thing. Or love.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yikes.
He did this or she did this because she loves me.
Yikes.
But really, it was a little micro control. Mm-hmm. So be careful out there, girls. Be careful out there.
Amen.
That's why I said, hey, I was giving both. Be careful out there, girls. Be careful out there, guys. Because it is a fine line. And I think for me, I had a hard time with it because I was such a controlling I can be. But I try to be aware. And that's how you start. That's how any change starts, is awareness. First, you got to be aware that you are controlling the situation. And you have to go to the person and consult and be like, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like I was being controlling? Do you think I partnered with you? Get some feedback.
Before we wrap up, I have a question.
No, Chelsi got to go a little bit, too, because Chelsi has some control issues, stories.
I do?
Are you a boss or are you controlling? I feel like I didn't get the clarity on that. I feel like I know what Ariel was leaning towards, but what are you?
You know, I feel like I can step up when it needs to, but because I don't know, and
some people like being led more than they like leading.
And that's what I'm going to say. If, I don't know, because you're just so, like, I just come from an environment where you just take the lead so much to where, like...
Because every week I get beat up, but I'm the one. You got the right one.
So, like I said, like, if I have to, I have no problem with being in that situation. Am I gonna...
With being a leader?
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I going to be the first one to raise my hand? No.
Right. You're okay with being led.
I'm okay with being led if it's the right person. Now, if it's not the right person,
tell her what to do.
I will step up.
You ain't letting nobody lead you into hell.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. But I also don't think I'm like controlling.
You're not.
Yeah.
Because
not.
You know what? You're controlling when it comes. You are a good example of controlling your controllables.
Yeah.
You gon' if you want to go to that concert, you gonna go.
Yeah.
If the person don't want to go, you gonna go.
Oh, you don't want to go, but I want to go? Okay, bye. See you later. See you later.
You are a good example of that because you don't let nobody hold you up, but you don't try to make nobody do what you're talking about. You know, you very, and it's probably so true what you said. That's why I'm mad at it. Because you come from me.
Right.
That is like controlling every aspect of everything. I don't even think people know.
But I've seen what it's like. I've seen someone in my life who's a leader, so I do know what it takes.
Right.
And if I have to step up, I can do it.
Right.
And that's also how you don't get controlled, because you've seen somebody who is an actual leader and know the difference between a leader and somebody who's just trying to control you.
Yes.
Ooh, these are such nuggets. This show is so good. We is helping people.
Yeah.
I know it. There's somebody out there who is leading, and we just confirmed that you're controlling. And it's never too late to change. Change it over, baby.
Change.
Yeah, because once you get the nugget that Ariel dropped, you're done. Leading, if you're calling yourself a leader and you're not serving your community that you're leading, whether that be husband, wife, friend, sister, brother, or work. If you're not doing it that way, you're not leading, you're controlling.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank. It's that simple. You're not controlling your controllables. Because as Ariel said, the controllables are not people.
They're not people. Controllables are not people.
It's crazy. And so, yeah, that's crazy. So Ariel, what you got?
So I had a question.
You dropped a lot of nuggets. That's why I didn't think you had more, but I feel like you got a little bit more in your belly.
A little. I probably do, but I kind of forgot what my original question for both of you was going to be. And Chelsi kind of touched on it a little bit with the being okay with being led. So I'm going to kind of, because it related to that, but not really. So I don't remember the exact question, but I'm going to bounce off of that a little bit.
Okay.
I think that one of the greatest things you can do as a leader is to notice little things about the people that are around you. Because I've also noticed that leaders, they're very in tune with the people around them.
Yes. Very aware of because they have emotional intelligence.
Yes. And they're very knowledgeable about what certain people's strengths are. And they kind of if there's a task in front of them or if there's something that they need to get through, they're looking more of a perspective of how can we do this? And people who are controlling are, how can you do this?
Yeah. Let me give this to you. Figure it out.
Yeah. Let me give this to you, or let me tell you how you need to do this thing.
Right.
Instead of being like, here's what we can do, or here's what we need to do, or here's what needs to happen with us. Because leaders also tend to put themselves in the situation. Controlling people are like, you just need to do it this way.
And it better be done.
Right.
And let me give you what controlling might look like in a relationship too.
Mm-hmm.
You told me that you want a certain thing done. Like, this has never happened to me, so I have a hard time like structuring it out, because Neil just doesn't tell me things. He doesn't. Like, I'm so blessed in that, I think, because he don't be like, he doesn't have requirements of me. Like, he doesn't do, I need to have dinner cooked every night.
Or like the kitchen or the house needs to be cleaned by the time I get home.
Baby.
Because if anyone is like that, it's kind of you, but not Dad. Dad's not like that. You kind of are with the cleaning of the house.
Well, because if I don't say something, it won't get done. Y'all just not natural, instinctive, come home and make sure everything is right. So I always have to say, make sure.
That is a very clear memory in my childhood, by the way.
It should
of having
be.
To make sure the dishes were done by the time.
Because that was your baby. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Get it done. So anyway, I don't have like personal experience, because Neil has never, when we first got married, Neil did not worry about no cooking. Because if he wanted it cooked, he got his little booty bum in there and cooked. And that's what happened. If he wanted it, washed, like, people used to lose their ever-loving minds, because for a long time, it just stopped. I'm going to say in the last 5 years. For the longest time, Neil used to wash our clothes. Like, he used to wash everybody's clothes in the house, because when you guys were small, he would wash yours. And he would wash mine. He just did the washing. Neil did the laundry. And people used to be like, he did what? Like, people are so toxic to me.
Mm-hmm.
Can I give a little bit of context of why I think that works, and why I think that for you guys that probably works?
Mm-hmm.
Is for those of you who don't know, listeners, my mom and dad met at a laundromat.
They're going to know because it's in the Love and Marriage series. Right. But go ahead.
So they met at a laundromat. And that's kind of...
No, we met at a cleaners.
Oh, cleaners, my bad. They met at a cleaners. They both worked at a cleaners. And that was... You worked, if my memory serves me correctly, you worked at the front and Dad worked in the back.
Yeah.
So to me, that makes sense. Like that makes the person who literally spent a large part of their time cleaning clothes is the person who is doing like that makes sense. And of course you don't have to explain that to other people and you don't have to justify that. But I think that one of the things that people tend to forget is there's a lot of strengths that people have that you don't see, and you only see them if you pay attention and if you are a proper leader. If you just want a body in a seat doing something for the sake of doing something, yeah, you're just going to try to be like, you do this. Right. But leaders look at the people that are around them and are aware of the people around them and are aware of the strengths that they have and put them in those positions.
And stop pigeonholing people.
Literally.
Just because I'm the wife don't mean I got to do this, this, and this. And just because you're the husband doesn't mean you got this, and this.
Stop it with your gender norms.
Stop it. It's I don't usually get off into the gender norm things, but when it comes to relationships, people need to stop it. And you need to stop judging things that just because you're not doing it that way. I used to always feel like people were judging it because they were jealous of it. I so felt that. Because what woman doesn't want the husband to do the laundry? Hello. What? And he did it well. Like, that was, like you said, his strength. Neil, because he ran the machines at the cleaners for years, he knew how to wash the clothes. He knew how to iron the clothes. He knew. But after a while, we needed you guys to wash your own clothes because I needed you to have that skill. So he had to cut off of y'all.
And he still showed us how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what just happened a couple years ago, why he doesn't do mines anymore, is because I was like, I didn't like his method.
You didn't like his method?
I don't like his method because it was a lot for him, right? So to do my clothes and his clothes, and his method is he'll wash them, he'll sort the heck out of her. If you got 10,
it's not colors, whites, and maybe like jeans. No, it's specifically
it's purples, it's oranges,
it's reds.
The whole rainbow will be on the floor in piles.
He ain't mixing nothing with nothing, okay? So that makes him have like 20 loads when he probably could have had about 4. And so he would wash and put it in the basket. And it was staying, baby, I'm not about to go through no baskets trying to find no panties. I'm sorry. It's just not what I do. Them clothes got to come out that dryer, into the basket, into my closet, into my drawers. And so when you guys were younger, it was, he did the way he did. I was thankful for how he did it. But now that y'all older and I don't got that stress, baby, I couldn't take it. So I said, Neil, I'm going to let you off the hook. I'm going to do my own because that way I can control it. Because I do have still remnants of my control. And now I wash and I put stuff away. Yeah, Neil is living out of his basket sometimes. So I didn't say he did it perfectly.
He did it in a way that worked for him.
Well, it worked for me because it just used to take, it was one less thing that I had to do. So I love that. But people, stop judging people. Like I used to tell people that. I remember I worked at a place and it was a lot of women and we were all married. And I had told one of the ladies, like we was just talking, we used to just talk all the time. And I told one of the ladies, I was like, laundry? Because she was like, yeah, because this weekend you probably going to be doing laundry. I was like, laundry? Neil does our laundry. And she looked at me. She said, what? And basically she said I wasn't a wife because I ain't do laundry. Baby, let me tell you something, what you're not going to do with her.
All right. Well.
We ain't going to do that. I was like, what? I was like, girl, I am a wife. I feel like you just wish somebody was doing your laundry. Because if your husband was to do your laundry, I doubt if you'd be like, baby, don't do it. You going to let man do it. So get off of me. It's so many. When he used to cook, because Neil always got home before me. He picked you guys up and he cooked. What? Was he going to wait for me to get home, for me to come through the door and cook? He was there. So he cooked. So y'all could eat. And so what he would do is he would cook. You guys would have eaten. Because sometimes I would get off hours later. My plate would be made and wrapped up in the microwave. Baby, I used to tell people that if going to the moon or being crazy, psychotic, out of your mind about something was a person, those were the people. They used to go crazy. They'd be like, he does that. Yes, he does. That's what makes us tick. I'm a pamper princess. I've never doubted it or denied it. I'm a pamper princess. I am. Not as much as I used to be, but Neil pampers me. So anyway, that was a good show, guys. I think it was a quick show for us lately because lately our show's been going a little longer than this one. But I think with those, we imparted a lot of nuggets with this show, and we thank you for listening. As always, this might be one of those episodes that you might want to listen to a couple of times because we gave you some good advice. Let us know. Hit us up on our socials. Let us know if there's if you're struggling with leadership versus controlling. If you got something out of this and had a aha epiphany moment, let us know. We always want to hear from you. We love you. Subscribe to our YouTube.
Woo, yay.
Yes, we have launched our YouTube and we really want you guys. Actually, fun fact, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can listen to the episodes on YouTube. So don't sleep on that. Get over there, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Got any parting words? All right, everybody. We will see you on the next episode. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, people.
Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. We look forward to you joining us on the next episode. Until then, be inspired and enlightened.